You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. Are you a fan of the household gadget? If so, this installment will be perfect because Marcy has finally found one that works. And for me, a couple of things that aren't working. High bridges and the U.S. Border Patrol. When you talk to somebody as regularly as we talk to each other, you start to think of things you want to tell the other person, and if they're not there, it's...
I know. Last week, I wanted to talk to you so badly.
Okay, what happened? What happened last week?
Okay, so remember I told you about my new magical tile floor cleaner that I had ordered from Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Was it actually a
and
brand name cleaner for a
yes,
change?
yes. So I decided that I was going to make a chicken salad with fruit, a
Wait a minute.
fruity chicken
Just
salad.
hold on a second.
And
This leap from thing that's going to clean my tile floor to I'm making dinner, this sounds...
it all comes together.
I'm waiting. I bet it
all
will.
comes together very quickly
I
here.
have faith, yes.
So I stick a lot of fruit in my freezer, and then there's fruit in my fridge. So I take the freezer fruit out, get the fridge fruit, then I'm putting away the freezer fruit, which is raspberries and blueberries and blackberries, and dropped it on the floor, and the whole bag spilled out, leaving a great big giant stain. So I said, well, at least I can put away the blueberries. I dropped them on top.
Kind of like a dessert on the floor. Well, I've
dessert
heard
on the floor.
I've heard of dump cakes where you just throw everything in, and this sounds like the place you should dump a dump cake. I always hate, by the way, the name for a cake, a dump cake, because it sounds...
I would never eat anything with the word dump in it.
No, it sounds like you put it in the toilet, not on people's plates.
So I had this huge stain that looked like somebody was killed in my kitchen floor, and it was huge because those berries bounced. So I put together my new floor cleaner, and guess what? I finally made a good purchase that works.
It feels good, doesn't it? All those years of buying off-brand crap, and you finally bought the name brand thing, and voila. Not that this is going to change our behavior at all.
I know, and I'm like, I need to call Turi and tell her that this works and send her a picture of this floor.
But, yeah, I'm impressed. Although, how stained can a tile floor get? I mean, it's tile.
Well, these are clay
sakes.
tiles, though, and they're porous.
I see. All right.
Each one is a different size. In the old days, when your table wobbled at a restaurant, you'd pull out like a matchbook and stick it under to like level the table.
Yes.
Our whole house is like that.
So we can take out a matchbook and stick it under the corner of your house.
Under everything. Yeah, that wouldn't be a fire hazard at all out here right now. Their winds are blowing at 35 miles an hour, and we haven't seen any rain. And you know what foxtails are?
Yes, they get right in your dog's nose, and you have to pay $1 million to have them removed.
Yes. Well, they are blowing everywhere. I mean, like, you get attacked the minute you walk out the door by foxtails.
And yet this is your happy place.
Well, hopefully they'll kill the grasshoppers.
You live in that folk song, I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. You live that swallowed a spider that wriggled and jiggled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. I feel like we should write a version of this for you at the rim of the Grand Canyon.
Well, right now, speaking of that, I'm looking at Butters, who's chasing flies in the backyard.
Wait, what is Butters doing?
Minion.
Why is Butters back in your... Butters the Destroyer? Why is Butters there?
AKA Jaws, because it's Shark Week.
So let me get this straight. You sent him to your daughter's boyfriend's house, but now your daughter's boyfriend is going to move in with your daughter, and so back comes Butters.
Now fiance, but yes, Butters is their child.
So I would like to file this under the file heading, You Can't Win.
He's a good boy now.
What did they do that you didn't do?
Train him.
So you admit defeat.
Well, he's also older now too.
Okay, okay, just old. Well, I don't think you travel with your dogs, but we just took our dog on a road trip all the way from Chicago to Toronto. Can I just say that the difference between the Canadian border guards and the US border guards tells you everything you need to know about the difference between the two countries?
Oh yeah. I mean, I used to go back and forth all the time when I lived in Michigan, and there's a huge difference.
The Canadian border guards, it's like they're so easygoing and they care more about what comes in and what goes out. I mean, you have to tell them you have no guns. You have to tell them how much
Yep.
alcohol, if any, you have. You have to prove your dog has a rabies shot, but they're cheerful.
Yes, they're very polite and they enjoy their jobs.
And
They obviously
welcoming.
get paid well.
Yeah, well, I don't even know about getting paid well. They're just not bitter and angry and hostile the way the American border guards are. It's like the American border guards wish there were no Canada. And you want to say to them, then you'd have no job, you morons. But but the Canadian border guards, just as an example,
Yeah.
do you have any food with you? I said, well, we got our kids' favorite snacks with us. I said, although to be truthful, I think he's starting to enjoy the Canadian snacks possibly more. And the guard says, yeah, the good stuff. So that was my little interaction with the Canadian border guard. Have a nice day. Have a good trip. The American border guard, just grouchy, just miserable. I'm looking at the tattoos on his arm, and he had a lot of them, to see like maybe there's a swastika on there. Well, he was that angry. He didn't.
Did he rip your car apart?
No, he didn't. Just the required questions. You know, where are you going? Where did you go? How long were you there? Okay. He said, did you bring back any alcohol? And I said, no, and we like our alcohol better. And he didn't crack us. I mean, that wasn't even an American jingoistic thing to say. And they're all like that.
They're all like that. Yes, they were back in the 70s when we were running back and forth to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario to buy Moosehead.
Well, I think that they've inbred them for surliness as a character trait. It's like when you breed a lab mouse and you breed it for a particular genetic makeup and you breed it back with the prior generation over and over till you get something that's called a pure strain laboratory animal, so that every one of them is genetically identical to every other one of them.
Clones.
Seriously, if you buy a laboratory mouse or rat, they have a particular genetic makeup and it's in use all over the world. So everybody has the same genetic twin mouse by now. And I honestly think that they're doing this with the American border guards. They're just, despite what that makes me say about their mamas, I think that's what they're doing. They're breeding them for
They're built
surliness.
in a Willy Wonka factory.
I wanted to go back to Canada immediately. I was like, if this is my country, I'd like to, can I turn around here? And then we usually go through the Windsor Tunnel. But and I'm loyal to the Windsor Tunnel because they're nice and they let my kid go to school. But coming over, there was traffic in the Windsor Tunnel, so we took the Ambassador Bridge.
Ew.
And it was raining. I hear you've taken the Ambassador Bridge.
Oh yeah.
I had
We've
never.
also done that go
I
around
had
because the tunnel was bad.
never taken the Ambassador Bridge, and now I know why. First, going over, it's a bridge that's built with a very high arch so that, I don't know, tall ships stacked on top of tall ships can navigate under it, perhaps. So it's like an amusement park ride, only I was spared the worst of it this time because it was raining bloody murder and I had to make sure I stayed in my lane, and they gave us 3 lanes. And so I couldn't really see how high up we were. And I'm not normally afraid of heights, but I just took it slow and steady. But coming back, the spousal unit says, well, you know, so it's easier just to get to the bridge. So I thought, okay. They gave me 1 lane facing 3 lanes of traffic going the other way, divided by tiny little plastic cones, like, you know, you'd put up in front of your garage sale. And people going, I'm doing a quick calculation of how much force in aggregate would be created by me going this way and them going that way in a head-on collision, plus the 4th of July weekend. So I'm completely phobic because God knows who's drinking what. Maybe they're like, oh, we can't bring booze into Canada. Let's just drink it all now.
That would be me.
I was, yeah, that would be you, but I don't think you'd be driving on the Ambassador Bridge.
No, but
And
maybe a passenger.
and so I haven't sworn at the spousal unit that much since I was on the labor and delivery bed.
Oh, I hate bridges.
I don't
I
mind
hate
them.
bridges.
Don't mind
When
them.
my eldest went to school up in Michigan's Upper Peninsula,
Hmm.
way up by Copper Harbor, and we had to cross that bridge. And the first time I even looked at it, I had to pull over, and I literally sat in the car and cried because that bridge was so scary. It was moving. It was moving.
This bridge,
I
the
was like,
Ambassador Bridge, that's the bridge you had to go over?
no, the Mackinac Bridge,
Oh, the
which I think is bigger than the Ambassador.
Does it go as high?
It's higher, I think.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
Mackinac might be the highest, but it
Imagine.
moves, it sways back and
Oh,
forth.
Lord.
I sat there and cried for a half hour.
Do you at
And then
least get to have your own lanes without anybody coming the other way, not divided?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the
Yeah.
part that scared me. The part that scared me was I had one little lane. To the right of me was the water, a billion feet below. To the left of me, oncoming traffic going 60 miles an hour, unimpeded by any fear for their own lives, apparently. And I just thought, okay, I have airbags, and I went 40 miles an hour over that bridge.
I would have gone 20.
I would have gone 20. I almost did. I will wait for 6 hours. Now I know why the Ambassador Bridge has. Sometimes when there's no wait for something, there's a reason why. And the reason why there's no wait for the Ambassador Bridge versus the Windsor Tunnel is that the Ambassador Bridge is basically a heart attack behind your steering wheel.
We got caught. I got lost taking the kids to Memphis and somehow crossed this huge bridge into Arkansas. We didn't know where we were. It was a huge bridge, not a Mercy Bridge. So we found a gas station and found out we were in the wrong state, and I had to go back across that bridge. Yeah, no, bridges are not my friends unless they're little tiny walkover bridges. I'll do those, or the ones that come on the, Tonka toys, whatever you call those things that on the playground.
Erector set, those things.
Little plastic bridges.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For those.
But bridges don't particularly bother me unless there are aggravating factors.
Oh, I hate highway bridges too, where they built those loops, and you have to go up a ramp, loop around, and you see all the cars behind you and underneath you and on the other side.
Oh, you would love that even more in the Bay Area where there's also danger of earthquake. You would love that.
Oh, definitely. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Although I'm not sure you'd like the tunnel any better given the danger of earthquake.
Well, I don't mind tunnels for some reason.
Really? Not
I
even
like
with
the
the
dark.
entire San Francisco Bay on top of you, just waiting to crush you like those people in the Titan if there's an earthquake?
I would have an earthquake detector installed on everything I own.
Well,
This is why I don't live there.
the state of California has earthquake detectors, but it doesn't give you enough time to get out of that tunnel. I'm just saying.
Well, anyway,
And the worst part of it is that you're in public transit in that tunnel, and so you're going to get squished next to the mentally
that's
ill.
why I live where I do. There's no public transit. There's no earthquakes. There's just like
foxtails and fires,
foxtails, poke you in the eye.
fire, marauding cattle, people shooting at things,
Yeah,
coyotes that eat your pets. Yeah, no problems
not an
there.
earthquake.
Yeah, well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.